Britt Bonney here. I'm a music director and arranger and composer in New York. I grew up in Asbury Park, where my father was adamant that I would learn about Bruce Springsteen and about Broadway. Every year we would take these big day trips to New York to see a Broadway show. One of those shows was The Sound of Music, the revival with Rebecca Luker. And it was the first time I remember looking up at the marquee and thinking, what if I come back here when I grow up?
Long road ahead, long road behind. Tough on the feet, tougher on the mind.
And I thought, well, I would do music, so I'd be a conductor. But my child's image of a conductor was largely drawn from Bugs Bunny, and I didn't connect to it at all. By the time I met Georgia, I'd already been working for a few years, mostly as a music assistant. I realized that I didn't know any women who were at that next level doing what I wanted to do. I knew of some of them, Mary Mitchell Campbell, Carmel Dean, but I didn't really have a roadmap for what it would look like to stay in the business for the long haul. And it was at that point that I went to Maestra. And there were these incredible women of all ages and all experience levels. And just even in that first meeting, I saw what it could look like. A few months after that, Georgia recommended me for a gig at Signature Theater in DC. They were doing a production of a show called Girlfriend by the fabulous Todd Almond. It's a rock show. It calls for an all-female band. And the director, Matthew Gardner, was looking everywhere for this all-female band, and his colleagues were telling him, this is never gonna happen. They don't exist. You will not find them.
When you said to me, you are not sold.
So we got our band, and my very first week of rehearsal, we were performing at a donor event, and I was so excited to be in charge of the music. I walked in with my little binder, and a well-meaning gentleman turned to me and said, "Oh, honey, are you filling in today?" Individually, little things like that aren't a big deal, but in aggregate, they start to make you feel like you don't belong. And that is where the community part of Maestra makes a huge difference. That you have these women in your life telling you, I've been there, you're not crazy, you do belong. The amount of skills required to be a music director is patently absurd. You have to be a great player, you have to be a great teacher, you have to be an engineer, you have to be an arranger, you have to be a great manager of people and workloads and priorities, and often you have to do those things all at the same time. It's a lot of hats to wear, and Maestra is currently creating this stockpile of resources where people can go to get the skills that they need so that up-and-coming women musicians, transgender musicians, gender nonconforming musicians can go and build these skills so that when the opportunity comes, they are ready. And I'm so grateful. And so grateful for the chance to tell you about it and thank Maestra and Georgia and Mary Mitchell and everyone for their ongoing work that chips away at these invisible barriers between women and these jobs and broadens the image of what a conductor can look like.